body is a science. Okay? So that's also what fusion is based upon. Yes? Esoteric wisdoms, which is kind of similar to metaphysics, but the word esoteric comes from a Greek word, obviously, esoteriko, to go within. So είναι η γνώση, η εσωτερική μας γνώση. So, βασικά, εκείνο που έχει γίνει, παιδιά, είναι ότι στην πορεία μας, στην ενσαρκωμένη μας την πορεία, βασικά, πάθαμε κάτι που την ονομάζουμε αμνησία. So, through our physical experience as human beings, we have gone through a process of amnesia. We have forgotten our gifts. Okay? So, Fusion 7 Healing, the mystery school, it's all about, I'm getting goosebumps, it's all about remembrance. Okay? Afipnisi, awakening. And it's about everything, the physical, the non-physical, the emotional, we can heal the emotional, the psychic, the physical, the mental issues, okay, environmental issues. There's nothing we cannot address because everything is based on these immutable truths. Because they say, how is it possible that you can heal, that you can transform anything? Because everything is made of what fusion is made of, these specific templates and these specific truths. That's why, okay? It's based on quantum concepts. Ξέρετε τι είναι quantum φυσική? Anyway, I'm not Einstein or anything, but I have studied some quantum, yeah, it's part of what I do. And quantum just basically tells us that everything is connected. Isn't that what the yogis have always told us? And isn't that what spiritual adepts have always told us, yeah? That everything is one, imaste, we are one. Namaste, γράφει η πόρτα. Right, it's on the door, yeah? So, quantum, though, gives us the science that explains how everything is interconnected. And if you attend class, Fusion 7 Healing classes, we go in very deeply as to how that works, because we use that science to be able to do the healing in itself. It is because everything is connected that we are able to apply the processes. Και η κβαντική μας το εξηγά. Μας εξηγά πως είμαστε όλοι ενωμένοι, πώς λειτουργά αυτή η ένωση, δηλαδή επιστημονικά πώς λειτουργά, έτσι. Όχι μόνο να πούμε όπως μας λέουν οι πνευματικοί, απλά πίστεψε και απλά έχει πίστη και έτσι. No, we go into the science. This is how it works. Because my brain is as much left as it is right. It's not just spirituality, it's science as well. If I don't have the answers, I'm like, yeah, but, no, but, yeah, but, no, but, yeah, but, no, but. I want to know the science, right? So this is included in the lessons that we teach, okay? So those are our quantum concepts, and also in it is traditional Chinese medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine. Why? Because I've also studied traditional Chinese medicine. One of the classes is based on traditional Chinese medicine because the wisdom is so deep and so profound, it actually relates to the nature of everything. All right, so do you know about the elements? That's the here, water, fire, earth, ether, spirit, all of that, yeah? Traditional Chinese medicine is all about that, and I just put up here that, in fact, Fusion 7 Healing is about Wu Wei. Wu Wei is the way, based on the Dao. And what is the Dao? The Dao is cosmic law. And so it all ties up with the traditional Chinese system, okay? It's about cosmic law. It's about honouring and applying cosmic law for transformation. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. So now, I'm going to give you just a really practical example so it makes just a little bit more sense. Practical now. We talked a bit technical. All right, so this is how it works. This is what you guys just did, okay? Right, let's say now Maria is a teacher and a facilitator of Fusion 7 Healing. I trained her, okay? So here's Maria right here. Vedi Maria da me. Oi, φορείς παντελόνι, εντάξει. Και το μαλλιόνι του στο ίσο da me, perfect straight. If it was me, it'd be like that, right? It's not, right. So there's Maria here, and Maria is the facilitator. Little F. By the way, I write my F's backwards, okay? Now, over here is the recipient, ο δέχτης. Ο δότης και ο δέχτης, εντάξει. Εσείς θα δουλέψετε στον εαυτό σας τώρα. Εγώ να σας δείξω πώς λειτουργούν τα δύο άτομα. Μαρία δότης και Anne δέχτης. Because we kind of did a little bit of that just now, yeah? So there's Anne over here. I know you're wearing trousers, but I'm going to give you a skirt. Right, there's your skirt, okay? so Anne is the recipient. Δέχτης, εντάξει. So Anne had an issue, let's say, approximately. I've given you a really old-fashioned skirt from the 18th century. Yeah, but then I can't show them the points, that's the problem. So Anne, I'm going to give you a mini skirt. You don't mind, do you? Yeah, go on, Anne. Go on, Anne. It's all right.
Be brave.
Be brave. Okay, so Anne had an issue around this area here. So there's the location right there, right? There it is. Now, just put a little star there so we can see what's going on. Now, if Anne had come in for a session to Maria, Maria would have said to her, is it okay if I investigate your space? And because Anne is obviously there, Anne would have said, yes. Believe me, I've had no's in the past as well. They'll be like, no. I'll be like, oh. And then it becomes more of a kind of a mentoring kind of a session. I don't want you to go in their space. You honour that. So Anne says yes. So what Maria does then is she connects her consciousness, to, I have to go up here now, to primary source. Τι είναι το πράγμα? Μπορεί να είναι, ναι. Τι είναι το primary source? Τι είναι η πηγή των πάντων? Τι είναι το πράγμα? What is it? Το όνομα σου? Εύα. Η Εύα είπε God, άλλο? Vital energy, ζωτική ενέργεια, σκανδινικά, ναι. Κάτι άλλο? Τι είναι το primary source? Any other guesses what this primary source is? Simban, yes, the universe. So this is why we don't give any religious affiliation to that or spiritual affiliation to that. We just call it the primary point, the 0 point, if you want to be like flashy and a bit, you know, sort of like, you know, a bit scientific about it. The 0 point of all creation or the primary point of all of creation. That's what we need to know. And it's somewhere in the cosmos. Where else is it? Everywhere. Where else is it? It's in you. And that's one of the laws. That's one of the cosmic laws. The law of correspondence. There are 7 cosmic laws. Would you believe it? Boom, boom. And one of the laws is the law of correspondence. Or nomos to what on earth is correspondence in Greek? Ένα αλληλογραφία, αλλά είναι σωστά.
Ένα αλληλογραφία, ένα αντιστοιχεία.
Ανταλλαγή.
Όχι, ένα αντιστοιχεία, κάτι τέτοιο.
Κάτι μεταξύ των δύο, right? Can't get the right word in Greek. Okay, so what that means basically is what is out here, primary source, it's fractal, which means it's also a part of you. You are, you, Maria and Anne and me and all of you guys and everybody on this planet is a representative, a physical representative of that. So if you're going to be a good rep, you better start making a good job of it. So you can be a good rep or you can be a bad representative, right? It's up to you, it's your choice. Free will, right? Anyhow, so we connect to this. Maria will connect to that. She will connect her consciousness to this. And she can do it any way she wants. She can go up and out, or she can go inside of herself, because within as without, as above, so below. All right? So she makes that connection. So for the sake of you being able to see that, she connects to that. Now, once she connects to that, επειδή έδωσε της την άδεια της συγκατάθεση της, she's given her permission, it then means that Maria has access to Anne's files. It's like a computer, right? So she's now got access to her files, and she can see energetically what's going on in her space. And she will say, oh, there's this going on, or there's this going on, or there's this going on. She will be given the priority because that's what we're trained to look at, the priority. Otherwise, the data will just keep downloading forever, and she'll be in that session for 2 years, right? So you just say, show me priority, and she gets shown the priority. Γι' αυτό θέλω τη Σαμπρίνη, προτεραιότητα. Αλλιώς να πούμε, έχω το τσεδαμέ, έχω τσεποδάτσε, προτεραιότητα, αλλιώς θα χαθείτε μέσα στον ωκεανό των πληροφοριών, με καταλαβαίνετε. Και εν τούτο που παθαίνουν πολλοί μες τούτον το επάγγελμα και τούτα τα πράγματα χάνονται μέσα στις πολλές τις πληροφορίες. So you've got to be very Spartan with all this kind of stuff, guys. Otherwise you will get lost in the ocean of information. And that is the problem with humanity at the moment, actually. We are drowning in information and starving of wisdom. Do you get the difference? Πνιόμαστε μέσα στις πολλές τις πληροφορίες, αλλά starving, λιμοκτονούμε, ας πούμε, που την πραγματική της σοφία. Τούτο γίνεται. Okay? So, we ask for the priority issue. Μας δίνεται. And then she starts to open Anne's files, okay? And then she has investigated at this point, and then she locates where the primary problem where it is, and we get that it's here. Let's just say you didn't tell her, but perhaps she would find it. She probably would, or I would, whatever, okay? And so we know that we have to work on the solar plexus, we know we might have to work on the mental field, we know that we may have to work on DNA, we know that we might need to work on patterns, we know that we might need to work on repetitions, we know that we might need to work on programs, we know that we might work on beliefs. It could be any of those, one of those, 3 of those, all of those, or something else. But with this training, you get to understand what it is that you need to do. You're shown the way. Why? Because you are connected to this primary wisdom point, which everybody has, which we cultivate. That's why it works. And that's why it's so precise. Πολύ λεπτομέρεια. Very, very precise. So she will then, she's located it, they'll have a discussion about it, and Anne will say, well, yeah, you know, it's like that, but I don't quite get it, perhaps. And so Maria will then have a dialogue with her to discuss, yeah? And then Maria will ask, is it okay if we proceed? And she'll probably say yes. And then they will start the rest of the transformation process. Η μετατροπή συνεχίζει από εκεί όταν το μιλήσουν, όταν κάνουν λίγο διάλογο. Έτσι. Και μετά θα χρησιμοποιήσει ή φως, ή χρώμα, ή ήχο, ή ιερή γεωμετρία, ή οποιαδήποτε από τα άλλα μας τα εργαλεία, για να μετατραπεί τούτη η κατάσταση ή να μειωθεί τέλος πάντων. Yeah? So Maria will then use one of our fusion tools, which will either be either light, colour or sound, or a combination of those, to transform the situation or alleviate it, to drop the intensity. That's why we talked about the intensity scale at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? So she would work on that, and then as Anne actually said, she said, well, I don't quite get it right now. I don't quite feel it. I don't quite... And it could be like that. She might need to go away into her life, and then a couple of days later, she might feel the difference then from the session. If it was somebody else, perhaps immediately. It depends on the individual. So εξαρτάται από το άτομο αν θα νιώσει τη διαφορά άμεσα ή μετά από λίγο χρονικό καιρό. Έτσι. Και μετά την ενίσχυση μας. Reinforce. And she will either reinforce with the golden light of infinite wisdom, with power statements, but it would be a vibrational frequency that goes directly into Anne's space where she needs it. and in her case it will be in that area that we spoke of earlier. So that is what it is, and that is how it functions and operates. Τούτη είναι η λειτουργία του, πώς λειτουργά. Ερώτηση? Any questions on that? Για μου για ερώτηση.
Can anybody have access to the point of source?
Yes, anybody
With
and
training.
everybody with training, absolutely.
Is that safe?
Of course it is, if you do it with grace, if you do it with humility, and if you do it with honesty. You don't do anything unless somebody gives you their permission to do so. I don't go around peering into people's face and, you know, trying to access information for my own reasons. That would be going against our cosmic laws. So you've got to go by the cosmic laws, not my laws, not man-made laws, by immutable truth laws, and we discuss those in the classroom. Έτσι. Οπότε πρέπει να είμαστε πολύ ταπεινοί με τον τρόπο που χρησιμοποιούμε αυτόν το ιερό το εργαλείο. Έτσι. Any other questions on that? Είμαστε εντάξει? You are all right? Είμαστε καλά? Okay. So I don't want to bore you completely to tears, right? But do you guys all know about me? Like who I am and how this came about and stuff. So I'll go about that in brief, okay? I won't be on that for too long, I don't want to bore you. So basically in 1999, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, κατά πλάκα σκλήρηση. Είναι πολύ σοβαρή αρρώστια. Ήμουν παράλυτη, ήμουν τυφλή, είχα διπλοποιία, ήταν δύσκολο να αναπνεύσω, ήμουν σε αναπηρικό, ούτε μπορώ να το πω, φαντάζομαι. Can't even say it great. Right, so I was wheelchair bound at times, I had double vision, extreme fatigue, in bed at months at a time. Things were really bad. The first time it happened to me, I was paralysed until my waist, and they rushed me to hospital and they put me on intravenous cortisone. Cortisone and the flesh. Hazdelina Bethan, I nearly died. And I went, whoa, okay. Conscious vow, I am going to abandon, I'm going to shut the doors on the medical industry. I have to find another way. Okay? And that's what I did. And then I began to study. Έκλεισα τις πόρτες στην ιατρική, βασικά, στην ορθόδοξη ιατρική, αν θέλετε. And I just started to study all this different stuff. Yeah? Ξεκίνησα να κάνω διάφορα μαθήματα σε εναλλακτικές θεραπείες και όλα αυτά. Και σιγά σιγά εμβάθυνα, ώσπου και έφτασα στο σημείο του σύμπαντος, μεταφυσικής και όλα τα θέματα, κβαντική. So I just kept going. But I've been a teacher of yoga, I'm a reflexologist, I'm a naturopath, I have studied traditional Chinese medicine, quantum, Reiki, theta healing. I've got so many diplomas that I threw them away. People thought I was mad. Που επέταξα, ας πούμε, όλα τα διπλώματα μου. Να τα κάνω τι, τα διπλώματα. Να τα κάνω τι. Doesn't prove anything, right? Because everything is within. That's what I'm trying to say. I did all of this stuff, but it wasn't enough. And then one day, me and Chris, we went to Thailand, yeah? And the weather was really bad out there. It was so shit. It was raining all the time. We were miserable. And so I was inside, and so I thought I'd do a little bit of meditation and whatever. So I just closed my eyes, and then all of this data started to come in. And I just started to write. So what you do, we're on holiday, and I was like, I can't stop. So I just began to write, and some of it was crazy. I didn't understand it. But then eventually, it all came together. It took me about 2 years, and Fusion 7 Healing came alive. That's what was born. Okay? So, πήγαμε Θαϊλάνδη, έβρεχε, ήταν χάλια ο καιρός. Ξεκίνησα ξαφνικά να λαμβάνω κάποιες πληροφορίες που ήταν πολλά τρελές σε μένα τότε, δεν μπορώ να τις καταλάβω, αλλά σημείωνα τέλος πάντων και έτσι γεννήθηκε το Fusion 7 Healing. Γίνηκα πειραματόζωο του εαυτού μου, I was my own guinea pig, yeah? So I started to apply stuff to myself and then radical transformation started to happen. Like large, I'm sure you can see, large transformation. Όχι μπελάρες, ας πούμε μιλούμε, άλλαξε όλη μου η ζωή. Και έτσι ξεκίνησε ο κόσμος να μου λέει, μα πώς έγινε, τι έκανες, και ζητούσα βοήθεια. Μετά έλεγα, πώς μπορώ να μάθω εγώ, ξεκίνησα τα μαθήματα. That's how it happened, yeah? So people said, wow, how did you do that, can you help me? Started doing sessions. And they were like, well, can I learn how to do it? So I can help me and my friend. And that's how the lessons began. So that is basically, in a nutshell, what it is. All right?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Did you answer your question? Why did you have this thing?
The MS.
Yeah.
Well, by using the application, I had to heal all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Why I had it.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it there? So, for example,
Was it just energy stagnation, or was it something bad which you experienced and you thought?
Right, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys right now. So, γιατί ήταν το MS εκεί, έτσι. Always know, guys, that the physical manifestation is the cherry on the cake. Εν το τελευταίο, το κεράζει η νόσος, η αρρώστια, η βιολογική, η σωματική, είναι το κεράζει. Οπότε γίνονται πολλά πράγματα πριν να φτάσει το σώμα στο σημείο που αρρωστά, ενός έτσι έντονο βαθμό. Okay? So this is what happened. What happened was there was a sudden breakup. My marriage broke up. I was with this person for 9 years, and it was not to my knowledge, it just all fell to pieces like in a matter of hours, like that, out of nowhere. To me, everything was fantastic, and out of nowhere, the shock, I was so shocked that my whole life imploded. Do you know what implosion is? When something goes like that. That happened in moments. And because the shock and the trauma was so severe, I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't talk about it, so I just swallowed it. Just swallowed it. So δεν μπορώ να μιλήσω, έπαθα πολλά σοβαρό σοκ με τον τρόπο που τελείωσε αυτή η σχέση. Δεν μιλούσα για το θέμα και ξεκίνησε το σώμα to break down. You know why? Because there was a communication breakdown. And when there is communication breakdown, you can bet your sweet ass that everything else will start breaking down as a result. Okay? Because everything is about communication. Okay? So that happened, and I was very, very depressed. Okay? Extreme depression, and it caused all kinds of issues, emotional issues, psychological issues, psychic issues. I lost my family, I lost friends, I lost my job, I lost everything and everybody in one go. I lost everything. Everything. And so I was just nothing. I just felt like I was a fish in a fishbowl, and everybody else was living and I was just a corpse. And I was just watching the world go by. And it was so excruciating to be alive, you know, excruciating. And so my body broke down. That was it. 9 months later, to the day, paralyzed. That's how it began. And so, of course, I did loads of stuff prior to fusion, of course, but it wasn't enough because I kept going in and out of problems and relapses. You know, γίνομαι κάπως καλύτερα, αλλά όχι τέλεια. Έτσι, εγώ ήθελα να γίνω όπως πριν, ήθελα να γίνω καλύτερα από πριν. Ήθελα να το με πάθος, you know, I wanted it so bad I could taste it. And even though I was sick, and even though I was really, really scared, I was like, there's a way, I just don't know it yet. Wu way. this is the way. Going to laugh or cry. Okay, just a bit emotional. Right, so it was born, and then to answer your question, I started dealing with all of those issues. Do you remember at the beginning when I said to you, are you guys on a path of truth? Well, I had to face all of my truth and all of the stuff that I didn't want to see to make it change.
The question say communication breakdown with what or whom?
With yourself. With yourself. So the communication with yourself breaks down. Your cells start to stop communicating amongst themselves. Yeah? Your chakras stop communicating amongst themselves. Your energy fields lose communication between themselves. Your DNA restricts and constricts. Everything basically just goes to pot. That's what happens. Okay? So the communication breakdown on every level, physical, non-physical, emotional, psychological, emotional, energetic, vibrational, all of it, right? So that's why it happened. So what I did, when I started to put all this stuff together, was I then started to work on my belief systems. I started to work on my programs. What beliefs have become so entrenched that it's now a program in the hardware of my system, you know? So the programa de escepticismo, let's see. I started to work on my soul. What is it, my soul? What's that gone through? On my emotions, my trauma, the drama da pueviosa. Let's see, physical and non-physical. The shock pueviosa, yeah? I started to work on my upbringing, things that I was brought up to believe, yeah? I started to work on my cultural issues. Lebedet, expansion. Let's see. Cultural issues. What was I brought up to believe that's harming me? Yeah? I worked on my energy centers. I worked on my energy fields. I worked on my multidimensional DNA. I worked on my past. I worked on my future. I worked on my fears. What am I afraid to look at? I worked on my relationship issues. Yeah? And there's still work to be done there, let me tell you. However, these are all the things that I worked on tirelessly, day in, day out, morning, day and night. I'm not saying you should, but for something so serious, I had to get on that shit quick time. Because if I didn't, I would have then left myself at the mercy of the medical profession, okay, to shove loads of interferon into my body, and I would just become a corpse. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do your meds. For my eye now, I have to do meds. Okay, I'm not saying don't do meds. Do what you need to do. But what I am saying is this is how fusion was born because of this. Okay, yeah. So it allowed me to radically change not only my health but my whole life. My whole life. Yeah. It changed my career, it changed my work, it changed my abundance issues, it changed, I travel all over the world, right? I was a prisoner in my body for 7 years. I live in Cyprus and I couldn't worship the sun, which I love, because MS says that you should not be in the sun, because it can give you an attack. I couldn't enjoy those things. Έγινα ισοβήτης της ζωής μου. Έτσι. And now everything, all of that has changed. Ask him where I am most of the time. I'm soaking the sun. I'm like in November, and I'm like, soaking up the sun, and it's good, and it's all good. So you start to rewire yourself on a deep subatomic level. Rewiring is what you do. But it's not just about that, it's about learning everything there is to know about the cosmos, galactic history, the stars, the moon, the planets, yeah? Everything. Which star systems we come from, all this stuff is in the lessons. So does that answer your question? I'm sorry, my darling, does that answer your question? Okay? Ωραία. Λοιπόν, μιλήσαμε για το τι είναι. Προσφέρουμε όμως επίσης δωρεάν υπηρεσίες, which you must know about. We offer, I offer that is, free services every day, whereby you can enjoy healings, you can enjoy transformation, you can enjoy talks like this one that we did today. I do that every day for free on an application that you can download on your phone called Periscope. Do you know Periscope? Yeah, you know it? Okay. Periscope. So this is free work, free stuff that you can access every single day.
So we're going to close up on this section. Thank you everybody for coming out. We're going to maybe do one more section, but at this time, enjoy your day. Thank you.
Periscope